We planned this interview before this mass shooting in Austin over the weekend, and when you're not in D.C., you live here too. So I want to ask, how did this shooting impact you personally?
Well, it's a shock that something like this could happen in Austin, Texas, just literally blocks away from where I live. And but I guess the fact that somebody came to this country, was given a green card and became radicalized at some point, unfortunately, is a story we've heard before. I just never thought it would happen in Austin, Texas, where I live, but it did. And I talked to Kash Patel, the FBI director. He said the Austin Police Department has done an admirable job. Of course, as you know, the first responders showed up in less than 60 seconds, saving lives. And of course, now they're investigating a potential nexus with international terrorism, in which event the FBI will then take the lead.
And Senator, is there any federal action that you would support to prevent shootings like this one we saw from happening again?
Well, I think, part of the problem was the open borders we've had over the last 4 years, and the fact that people who've overstayed their visas simply were allowed to remain in the country and very little immigration enforcement. We don't know all the facts and details of this particular individual, but it does look like he's had multiple mental health challenges and encounters with law enforcement. Again, the investigation's ongoing, but unfortunately this seems to fit a particular profile of somebody who came here from overseas and became radicalized and lashed out at others. And unfortunately, part of this is a mental health condition known as death by cop, where it's suicide, but they don't have the courage to take their own life, so they kill others in the meantime, knowing they probably won't survive. But again, we're awaiting the results of the investigation.
You mentioned the mental health component of this. Do you also see a potential for gun control to be part of the solution?
Look, the law-abiding gun owners are not a threat to public safety. People who are mentally ill and people with criminal records should not be able to obtain firearms. They can't pass a National Instant Criminal Background Check. And I'm eager to find out exactly how he acquired these firearms. My suspicion is he did so illegally. So restricting law-abiding gun owners won't solve any problems. Keeping them out of the hands of the criminal and the mentally ill will.
Also over the weekend on the international front, we saw the United States and Israel launching these major military strikes on Iran. Are these actions that you support? And can you explain what the U.S. objective is here?
Yes, Iran, the regime, is the #1 state sponsor of international terrorism. They've had American blood on their hands. The bombing of the Khobar towers that took the lives of countless Marines, the improvised explosive devices that killed Americans and injured more in Iraq. This is all Iran operating through its various proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and the Shia militias in Iraq. And President Trump rightly believes that they could not get a nuclear weapon. That simply was unacceptable. He is exactly right, and I admire and respect the president's courage, political and otherwise, in doing something that many other presidents had an opportunity to do but never did, which is to stop this regime from terrorizing the region and threatening our national security.
And I know you were with President Trump here in Texas just hours before this attack on Friday. It's my understanding that he asked for your opinion on whether or not you thought the U.S. should do this, and if you would be supportive if the U.S. did this. What was your response to the president?
I told the president I would support a strike. Negotiations had been fruitless. They had a chance to come to the table but refused to do so. And again, this is an ideological or theocratic regime. They believe in the elimination of Israel, and they chant death to America. It's hard to negotiate with somebody like that. In fact, it's impossible. I think President Trump did the right thing. And again, I just am in awe of the United States military, the paramount military in the world who have conducted this mission so far, working together with our allies and with great success. So I hope it's over soon and the Iranian people can then take responsibility for governing their own country, but free of all the repression and the intolerance that the current regime imposes on them.
You are in a tough primary race right now, running against two candidates who argue that you are not conservative enough. Explain why you believe that your leadership is right for Texas moving forward.
Well, I've been doing this for a while, and I think whether it's a secure border or whether it's reimbursing the Texas taxpayers for the money they had to pay during the open border policies of the Biden administration, I've got a record of success. I voted with the president because I want him to be successful, and I want America to be successful, and I think he's got the right policies for the country. So I'm happy to support him. So much of what the opposition is arguing is based on, I don't know how to put this delicately, it's lies, but we've tried to break through all that misinformation to tell people the truth. And I think working with President Trump, I think I can help him during the remaining 2 years of his term of office, and I can also help all of Republicans up and down the ballot in the general election. If Ken Paxton's the nominee, there's a good chance he would lose, and we'd lose the first statewide race to a Democrat since 1994, and then he would take the rest of the ballot, the Republicans on the ballot, down with him. I don't think we should risk that.
What makes you say that there's a good chance that the Attorney General would lose if he becomes the nominee?
Well, all you have to do is look at his record. He's got more baggage than the bag check at DFW Airport. He is a flawed individual. He's incredibly arrogant. He's not embarrassed. He's not apologetic either to his family or to taxpayers or to his own leadership. As a matter of fact, he tried to destroy them after they turned him into the FBI for interfering in an ongoing criminal investigation of one of his campaign donors. He's reckless to the point of self-destructiveness, and I think he will take the Republican Party and the Republican ticket down with him if he is the nominee.
And Senator, I hear what you're saying, but as of now, the president has not endorsed in this race. What message is that sending to Republican voters?
Well, I think he's anxious to see how Republican voters will choose on March the 3rd. Look, the president has called all three of his friends, and I understand as a Republican office holder, somebody asked me to endorse in a contested Republican primary, I have to think, well, who am I going to make mad or alienate? My own supporters. So I get it. The president's decided to stay out of the race up until now. If and when he decides to endorse, I would be delighted to have his support. We talked about it frequently, and I know he's following the race very closely. So we'll wait and see what he decides to do, but in the meantime, we're working very hard to earn the trust and support of Republican primary voters.
I want to ask about the economy, and Texas families are worried about the cost of living. What is one concrete policy that you would support that could help lower costs within the next year?
Well, unfortunately, we're living with the vestiges of the Biden inflation, which was the highest inflation in 40 years. So the cost of everything, you put it in kitchen table issues, food, gas, clothing, mortgage, rent, everything was higher. And it's hard to change that overnight, but the president's policies have reduced the rate of increase in inflation, and that's important. But housing is a very important issue. Many young people don't feel like they can afford a house anymore. Interest rates on mortgages are starting to come down, so that's good. And we'll be taking up a housing bill in the United States Senate this next week. hopefully to provide some relief to particularly first-time home buyers who want to be able to buy a home and get that piece of the American dream.
And Senator, I want to end here. If voters give you 6 more years in the Senate, what is one measurable outcome that you want them to judge you on?
Well, I mean, I've been pleased and proud to represent the state of Texas for many years now, and my focus has always been on Texas. Those are the voters that I respond to. I'm in constant communication with my constituents. One reason why I've been endorsed by virtually every organization that endorses in these races, from the Chamber of Commerce to the Farm Bureau to the truckers to the realtors, all the above, is because they know me, they have confidence in me, they know that I will listen to their concerns and work with them to try to achieve results. I don't think the Attorney General is particularly interested in that, but that's what they can expect from me, because that's what I've delivered over the last years that I've been in office.
Senator John Cornyn, thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.